This is a shot chart produced by ESPN showing LeBron James' game against the Bobcats, where he had his career high in points. As you can see on the graphic, it shows where he made his shots on the court and where he missed his shots on the court. And this kind of graphic has been around in the media for a long time to show fans who didn't watch the game how a player performed on each space on the basketball court. And with this kind of data, it's only been really used on a game-by-game basis and looking at short and small sample sizes. But it really could be used to look at long-term trends and understand how players' tendencies affected their game over a long period of time rather than just a single night. And that's where Kirk Goldsberry comes in. And Goldsberry was an expert in spatial data and cartography, and he actually started out analyzing traffic on the road and used what he learned from doing that to apply it to analyzing traffic of shots on a basketball court. And he really got into basketball when he realized there's all these shot charts out there with all this data, but it's only being used on a small scale to analyze individual games. And he wanted to see how it could be used on a large scale to analyze long-term trends in players' tendencies. And when he saw that it really hadn't been done before, he knew that he could change how basketball analytics would be viewed for years to come. And Kirk Goldsberry actually got his break into the basketball analytics community when he had compiled all of his findings, pulling from the ESPN's website and using all of the shot chart data to have one data set that could look at long-term trends with the spatial data. And he went to the MIT Sloan Conference in 2012, which is the most renowned sports analytics conference in the world, run by NBA general manager Daryl Morey. At the conference, he showed what he had found with using spatial data on a large scale and being able to analyze different teams and players' tendencies and how being efficient on different spaces on the basketball court affected whether they won or lost. And once he presented those findings, he immediately became a hot commodity in the basketball world, and lots of people were knocking on his door offering him positions. And with all that attention, he was able to capitalize and make his way into the media space, landing himself a job at ESPN, where he was given all the resources he needed to compile graphics, charts, and maps with varying sample sizes. And with the ESPN job came a platform to popularize this project, as it gained traction among the NBA fan base very quickly because instead of having to comb through every single game's shot chart or watching every single game, it became easier than ever for fans to look at a player's tendencies over the course of several years just through a graphic. And before, it was only the top of the top basketball minds would be able to understand certain trends throughout the NBA because they were watching and consuming all this basketball. But now for a casual fan, they can open up ESPN and look at this graphic and be able to understand how shot selection is changing over the NBA over the course of several years rather than just getting a sense of it night by night. And while he was providing spatial data for the media and the fans, he was able to see trends in his data that reflected the analytics movement of the 2010s. The most prevalent of these trends was the key or three philosophy, which was actually popularized and utilized by GM Daryl Morey, who's the head of the MIT Sloan Conference. And the key or three philosophy emphasizes taking shots at the key, which is the area near the basketball hoop, or the three, which is the area behind the three-point line. And these two shots are emphasized because data has shown that these are the most efficient shots in basketball, so NBA teams are trending towards only taking these shots and pretty much abandoning the mid-range shot, which is the long two-point area that is considered inefficient by almost all data. Although this philosophy helps increase the efficiency of scoring throughout the league and create high-scoring games, Kirk Goldsberry actually argues that it's bad for the league because if you're only taking two types of shots and that's all the coaches and NBA teams are emphasizing, it ruins the diversity of the league, as if you see the same product over and over and over, it's going to be hard for fans to really be engaged into the game when they're only seeing the same type of shots from every single NBA team. And so he has proposed a solution of extending the NBA three-point line to deter teams from becoming too repetitive with their shot selection, as you can see here.
That chapter, why you think the three-point line should be moved back.
Well, I love the diversity of the game. I love the 5 position groups, and I argue that, as a means to sort of preserve the diversity, the look of the game, that we need to look at the three-point shot as an increasing threat to the diversity of the game. Here's a stat for you, Rachel. The NBA shooters this year made more three-point shots than they made during the entire 1980s.
So as a prominent media member, he's trying to advocate for the extension of the three-point line to help improve the overall product of the NBA. And while it might be a long shot that he has any kind of influence over the NBA's rule changes, it gives fans a something to think about when trying to understand why the product they're watching is becoming so redundant. And to wrap up what Goldsberry is doing with this project now, he primarily interacts with his fans through his ESPN articles and his social media, where he consistently posts on Instagram and Twitter different graphics he creates to help NBA fans understand trends going on throughout the NBA at given a certain time and how spatial data is representing those trends. And Goldsberry has helped bring spatial data to the forefront of basketball analytics and done a lot for helping fans and the media understand different trends and tendencies going on in the NBA.